All right, everybody. Welcome to another Cap Tech Live here on LinkedIn. I'm Brad Sims. I'm the president of Capital Technology University. And today we have two folks from Shapiro Duncan. There's a large mechanical contracting firm here in the region of Maryland. And with us today, we have Charlie Ayres and Shawn Bonifant. And they work directly, of course, with Shapiro Duncan. So I thought I would turn the live over to start off with Charlie, talk a little bit about what your company does and where you work within the region.
Well, thanks, Brett, and thanks for inviting us today to speak with you and have this conversation. Shapiro Duncan is like you mentioned, a mechanical contracting firm in the Washington, D.C. metro area. We service mostly commercial clients, and we've been doing this for over 40 years now. We're a family-owned business that we're on with our third generation of the Shapiro family. And but I say Shapiro. It's some people say Shapiro, some people say Shapiro. We also say just as long as you're calling us, we're happy. Either way works for us. And then sometimes I'll even flip myself in the conversation from Shapiro to Shapiro. So I apologize for the inconsistencies up front. But anyway, I've been part of the company for almost 30 years now. We've seen just in this metro area just a expansion and growth from I guess geez when I started it was really I started actually when I was going to put myself through college and at Capital Tech University. This is not a plug, but for Cap Tech, but yes, I'm also an alumni at Cap Tech, so I'm proud of that as well. But anyway, while putting myself through school, we were a small plumbing and mechanical business with maybe 25 employees, and now we're up over 350. So along with that has been just that growth, and we really wanted to kind of focus today on our training efforts and what we do to sustain that growth and to continue our building of the company, because that's our path, is to continue growth. It's just really everyone is you'll hear in the news about just the labor force and the difficulties of finding craft workers to do this type of work, mechanical and plumbing work, and really we've kind of made the effort probably 20 years ago, or really made the decision 20 years ago that in order to continue the growth, we have to find the right people that are trainable and want to learn and educate them. And we've been on that path for, like I say, over 20 years. And really, in the past maybe 8 to 10 years, I've gotten more and more serious about it and really put more resources toward it. And I want to introduce Shawn Bonifant. He's our training and education manager, and he's been at the helm for about a year and a half now. And just wanted him to explain what he's been doing and what we have currently going on. So, Shawn, you want to take over?
Thanks, Charlie. It is an honor to be here and speak with everyone. Like Charlie said, with the industry and the way it's going, it's hard to find people who actually want to do it and are capable and qualified. I think there's a lot of misconception of the construction industry as a whole, that it's get your hands dirty. That's the only aspect of it. But there's a large aspect that is technological, and with the introduction of new equipment constantly coming out, new materials, tools, things like that. Um, in our company, we've got right now active like 40 apprentices in various schools that we're trying to get up to the speed and be able to get out in the workforce and get those guys to understand that this is a career. Um, our company's, I don't want to say it's small. It's not large by far. We're in between 400 500 employees for our area, and we service everything from construction, plumbing, HVAC, and pipe fitting. The construction side is the largest portion of our company that kind of feeds our largest requirement for these certified and licensed people. Like Charlie said, I've just been about a year and a half in this role into the full time as training. Prior to that, I was in the safety field for the last 6 years. So I've kind of worked both sides of it. And safety is, with the way our industry is going, one of the larger portions that's coming through. Our training department right now is comprised of full time 4 people, myself. We've got a training coordinator, and then I've got 2 full time craft instructors, which both are master plumbers and have been at the game for quite a while. We service a lot of in house training and certifications, as well as we send our people outside to, you know, ABC Metro, some of these other apprentice programs, and the individual materials and equipment. A lot of specialized training for, especially on our service side. We've really been pushing hard with our in-house training and developing programs for that, and not only on the craft side, but as well as project management on the more the administrative and engineering and design side, because that is a growing facet, I believe, of our industry, is getting into that design and engineering side, because it's incorporates everything. It's everything from the top all the way down to the guys actually out in the field, those craft specialists that are putting these jobs together. Um, Kind of along with the outsourced stuff, the different licenses and courses. Most of our people, we need them to have specialized licensures like medical gas installation and inspection, backflow, and with the area that we serve, that DC metro area, a lot of those licensures have to be specific per that state or that region. Um, we like to send our people to project management academies and courses to help get them the education and training to be able to do the jobs that we expect them to do. I will say our team is top notch and one of the best, and bring in people who have the passion and that know how kind of helps us all the way around.
That's excellent. I mean, I know working with Charlie and of course having lots of the trades graduates come to Capital Tech for their graduation, that you have a great educational platform for building that pool of trades folks, which is a severe shortage across the United States, just as this as well as management. And in the construction industry, one thing that I um, talk about is that if you remove the government employees in the military, the construction industry is the largest employer in the United States. It drives the U.S. economy. Without construction, the economy would tank real quick. So the careers, they're boundless in the construction industry. And while my background, I went into construction management and project management, but I worked with the union trades folks, had 500 trades folks on my last job that I worked full time in California before I moved into higher education, and always looking for good employees. These are well paying jobs, whether you're in the trades or you're in management, and lifelong jobs. I mean, you can't go wrong with something related to construction. And I don't know about what you're seeing besides the trades, but what I am kind of seeing as a major trend is, of course, the technology enhancements in construction that's really occurring. And I think part of that has to do with the shortage of workers, that we really had to invest in technology. But also, there's another element that I think is growing, is in the IT area with security, cybersecurity, especially whenever you're dealing with multiple site locations and data transfer, and you're worried about ransomware, you're worried about somebody hacking in. So folks who like IT and cybersecurity, it's another area to get into. Or there's those folks who just love software, BIM, building information modeling. You can have a whole career in it now. I know some companies that have a staff of people just working on BIM.
Yeah,
So
we actually have a full IT department just dedicated for that. I mean, and you're exactly right with the way that the industry is going, as well as on the safety side and technological side. They kind of drive each other, and having that full IT uh, background and having that in place, it's vital. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd like to tag it onto that. I mean, really, we build it at least twice. I say at least twice. We usually build it virtually in the model. So that's the virtual design component or the building information modeling. And then the idea is to, of course, to work out all the bugs and kinks in the model in the virtual world, where we're not reworking or removing what we just installed to make way or make room for someone else to install their components. And usually that's usually just settled over who's in first or who can swing the hardest maybe. So it's the world of construction is changing, and the technology is really driving that. Right now we're about 10% of our physical workforce is in that working in that virtual world, and we find that the best people that can adapt to that virtual world are the people that have already gone through the trades or spent time in the trades. They have the constructability experience. They know how to install the equipment, the pipe works. So yeah, they are an asset when it comes to building in the virtual world. I mean, they're not just draftspeople. Yeah, they can draw the lines, they can move things around to avoid conflicts, but that they also have that inane experience where they know of issues. They can see issues where other people don't see issues. So they're hugely important in our success of the VDC. So
Yeah. I mean, my experience too. The technology changes. So when I started in the '90s in industrial construction, I noticed a couple things that have dramatically changed. One, our designer was Bechtel, and they built the first 3D walkthrough models of industrial plants that you would take them the employees in and say, is that valve in the right place or what? And so it was big scale stuff. It wasn't really refined, but it was the first working model. They probably spent millions of dollars on it, right? What we can buy off the shelf today. And the other thing that's changed dramatically, besides the orthographics going to BIM, is that we used to also employ actual modelers who would build a three-dimensional 1/50th scale of the plant. And of course, you don't need that anymore with the technology. So it's exciting time, and it's extremely fun when you're involved in construction project, whether you're involved with building a Walgreens or a full-scale refinery or a stadium. To see it go up from the ground up, it really is a kind of a self-fulfilling, uh, thing to be part of something that you see built. I
yeah,
do have. Go ahead.
other kind of direct benefits of the VDC model or guys building in the VDC model is we're able to take that data, that information, and apply it directly to the job site. First of all, with laying out for sleeves. So if we're pouring a deck, we have all these pipe penetrations going through the deck. We have the surveying equipment that's fed directly from the model, to be able to place those inserts and those sleeves, pipe sleeves. And then, of course, we also use the model heavily because we do a lot of prefabrication. So everything that we're drawing, we then run it through a process called spooling, which then gives us our detailed piping cut list and fabrication list. And so that goes straight into our fabrication shop, and which, ideally we like to, we probably prefabricate 25 to 50% of everything we build, or everything we install. So it's for us, it's essential. And having those people that are capable of building those models and creating those drawings are essential.
I got a quick question here. I'm gonna pull up on the screen. Do you work with instrumentation?
So, well, yes and no. So, like for example, the that surveying piece of equipment is often referred to as a total station. I think that's a brand name. So that's a surveying equipment that sends out, a beacon, a signal. It's placed in a known location. So our transponders pick up the signal and we'll be able to place it. We also, of course, do scanning. So we'll scan our room to create another 3D image. So we're able to kind of take it if it's an existing building. So we will take it and bring that information in and create a model. And usually that's helpful for finding the points, connection points of it helps us with our prefabrication to be able to hit the points that we identify. Also, instrumentation, we do building automation. So we have that instrumentation for the controls. So sensors, pipe sensors, temperature sensors, humidity sensors, airflow monitoring stations, and of course all that information is brought back into that's we haven't touched about that, but that's a whole another subset of our industry that's huge. That's really technologically driven with drawings and design and software, and then just the field application of controlling the HVAC equipment for heating, cooling, dehumidification, what's required. There's this area is just soaked with labs and facilities that are biotech facilities that are vivariums. They're testing and they're building their processes to create drugs and create cures for the world. So DNA research and genetics is huge in this area. So yeah, we do a lot of instrumentation to support that and drive that industry, as well as just buildings, schools, hospitals.
Now, if you obviously there's two paths usually into construction companies, or either through the trades or through like a university degree in construction management or engineering or architecture. If I let's say I'm a high school student, but I prefer to go into trades, can I apply and start working directly for you and get the training on the job, or do I go to trade school first, or how would I do that straight from high school?
So there's actually two different ways that works. We get kind of an influx from high schools that have their own trade program, and those guys know what they want coming out of that, and that they've got a jump start in the apprentice program before they even get hired on with us and start with us, and we kind of continue with that and tutor them through and put them into an apprentice program until they complete that and help them get their journeyman license. As well as you can come directly to us, whether it's fresh out of high school and that 18-year-old kid, or somebody who's just decide they want to change careers and come to us, and we can put them in an apprentice program where they get that on the job training while they're working and get their education at the same time. That so me, I don't have a background necessarily in construction. My background was military and law enforcement, and then switched gears and saw the availability and the way the industry had changed, and that's how I got in with Shapiro and Duncan initially, and with on the safety side.
And
Yeah,
safety, big.
sorry to interrupt, Brad, but I would just interject too that everybody's path's different. Everyone's situation is unique. I would recommend getting started. That's the biggest thing. If you have the means to be able to attend a 4-year degree program, there's a lot of great programs out there that offer project management, engineering. All of that can be applied to the construction trade. Or you, like Shawn points out, you can get started in the trades, in the apprenticeship program, work your way through it. Many of our high level executives started in that path. So the
Gotcha.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Well, you're right. A lot of people start out in a different area or career path, and then they move into construction. Multiple ways to do it. It's a great career change for those folks TAing out of the military that are looking for good careers. There's no question about that. Safety, as you mentioned before, I don't want to shortchange that. That's hugely important. Um, especially my experience was working in industrial construction. We put a tremendous importance on safety, and some things you don't even think about, that the safety folks certainly are watching for to protect you. Here at Capital Tech, we do offer an online bachelor's in safety where you complete it, you automatically get the GSP certification for the Board of Certified Safety Professionals. So you get that with your degree. We have a bachelor's in construction management you can do on ground or online, and a bachelor's facilities management you can do online. Facilities management, IFMA, we work with them, International Facilities Management Association, and that's another area that's related closely to what we're talking about here. There's people who manage facilities. There's a huge shortage of folks out there, whether they're managing a high rise in downtown New York City or a commercial property that you see driving down the highway. There's another need there, and very similar knowledge base that you need to know about a little bit about everything. So there's a huge market for these career paths, and it doesn't have to be just being project based out there in the field building something. As we mentioned, it can be directly related to IT, can be related to safety. There's so many different angles that you can do this in. What if you have some people thinking about this career, listening to this program here, uh, if you can kind of give an idea, if you like the trades, maybe talk a little bit about what kind of salary expectations. If you like the management or engineering, maybe talk a little bit about that as an entry level coming in to show, really you get a significant salary regardless of the path you take. It is going to be a career that you can sustain yourself well for the rest of your life. So give folks a little bit of idea about how that entry level salary structure may work.
Well, I know with us, we have a dedicated person just for recruiting. So if somebody would want some specific information on a craft or administrative type position or whatever we would have, that would be the ideal person to contact, and we can talk with them, regarding that and see which direction that would be the best for them. Um, Salary wise, there's entry level, of course, with the apprenticeship. There's certain levels that we have to, we stay within that structure. But Charlie can probably speak a little bit more as far as how the hierarchy for salaries go within our company.
Sure. I mean, really, if you're fresh out of high school, zero background, zero experience, you're going to start in around the $20 an hour range, and then with all the paid benefits, paid time off, our standard benefits package, and then of course the sky's the limit. I mean, so you know. Up to probably 5 times that as you progress toward the end of your career, if you take it as far as you can go. So we certainly, I think that the 6-figure mark. So majority of our project management team is probably over that 6-figure mark. Engineering team, of course, over that mark. Safety, as you get into the manager positions, you're going to be elevated above that kind of that watermark of that dollar figure of $100,000. So really, probably half of our staff is north of that, and then of course, as you get at the upper level, the executive level, even higher. Put it that way.
Right, yeah, and so you can see it's a solid career path there. There's an association that does salary that yearly averages net for national titles in construction. You can go check that out if you're listening to. It's at pause.com, pause1.com, and they do them individually for companies, but you can go see what national average salaries out there for each of the construction segments. But it is, I think, one of the best industries that you do well, you get rewarded well, including bonus structures for many of the management level positions that you can have out there. What, I guess, from either one of you in your work with mechanical, what do you see that really interests you as you're working in the industry segment? That do you like? For me, I enjoyed seeing in refineries. I enjoyed seeing the big pieces of the unit gets put up, whether it was a tower and you'd have two cranes lifting it into place and you're bolting it down with 8-foot bolts, I thought that was really part of the excitement as I saw the project come along. Anything that really stands out for you in your careers that you really enjoy with the mechanical end?
I know on my side, my specialty is the safety aspect of it, and it probably always will be. But I did work in the field for a while before even getting into that position. And kind of like you said, it's seeing from start to finish that end product and knowing that, you played a large part into a multi-million dollar, building that went up, understanding that and having the pride of you had a hand in actually building that.
I'm really passionate about problem solving, and really the industry and just needs problem solvers, because every day, every project, there's a problem to solve, whether it's technical in nature, if it's just spatial in nature, just figuring out how to install something, how to rig something, how to maneuver something through a building, even. And so that there's many problems to solve. One of the things that I also appreciate, I don't necessarily know if I have the skill set for it, but just some of the artwork. The folks we have are, a lot of them are artisans. They really create beautiful images. They create beautiful work. It's just great to look at, and I really appreciate that when you see something that's installed just well, and the craftsmanship behind it, the thought process behind it, and there's just the little details that you pick out that really just amaze me. And we have a great team that and a good many artisans that can really make the work look fabulous.
Yeah, Charlie, if I can just add to that, I 100% agree because, we talked a good bit about the uh, building the virtual side and doing it all, from that beginning and how accurate that is. But I know in my experience, I've seen a lot of times where it's all good on paper and computer, but until you get it out on the job site, and then those craft guys, those foremen and those welders and plumbers, they have to fix it. And like you said, the artistry and the mindset that they have can change gears and fix that problem and then make it look as beautiful as they do. Like you said, it's an artistry.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It really, when you're a good craftsperson, it really shows. We do also, Capital Tech does a meet monthly with National Center for Construction Education and Research, and so we have a whole area where we take all their craft training courses and give them equivalent elective credit. So if there was a tradesperson who wanted our online bachelor's degree in professional trades administration, they can transfer up to 42 of those hours of that apprenticeship into elective credit that we take, and they can finish off the degree. So we're very supportive of both because we know the value of either a tradesperson or a good technical manager. I mean, they are highly needed in not only this segment, but as you can imagine, you're talking telecommunications, cybersecurity, the whole spectrum of technical areas are in a huge shortage across the US. Um, One last question from my end, because I did this for a while. I was involved with lean construction. Do you guys do anything with the lean construction principles? I mean, I really thought the last planner tool was fantastic. I know some companies use it and some don't. Do you use any of those principles?
I would say we have used them. It's kind of been difficult for us as a subcontractor in that
Oh,
relationship, where we're not really steering the boat. We're a big component of it, but we certainly, and that's an area that we really haven't discussed today. But yeah, the technology, the driving technologies behind what we do, and our ability to track what we do, that's become more and more important. Documentation, field documentation, photographing. So there's the types of technology being introduced to that in that arena with drones and 3D photographs. So we photo document a lot of our projects. We have an APM walk around with camera set on their head, and So, and there's just all the technology driven behind that, and just people to operate it, people to train and maintain. So.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. No, I mean, as far as all the tools from lean construction, my favorite and I thought was most effective was the scheduling technique called Last Planner. I thought that to me, that was the best. So we're coming up on our end here. Let me pull up your website, ShapiroandDuncan.com. So as we end, if you want to highlight, if somebody's interested in coming to your employment site, do they just go to their website?
Yeah, they can go directly to our website. If they want to look at what positions we have available, you can just click that right from our main page, and it will show everything that's available. Um, if they don't see something, doesn't mean that we're not always looking. I would suggest if they're interested and would like to talk to us, there is a contact information on there that they could speak directly with our recruiter. And he can put them in touch with myself in the training department if they have any questions about the apprentice program or any other facets. They can just right through the website contact us.
All right. Well, Charlie and Shawn, I really appreciate you coming on our live event today. We just wanted to highlight again another exciting segment of the construction industry, the mechanical side. They all have their different niche markets, whether you're building a highway, building a hospital, or you're a mechanical contractor. There's something for everybody out there. And so this is certainly a segment that I recommend if you're looking for interesting and lifelong career, that you look into mechanical construction. And thank you guys for coming on the program.
Thanks for having us, Brad.
Brad.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.